My name is Jeffrey Kennedy, and welcome to Elliott Wave Junctures. As you know, the wave principle separates price action into two modalities, motive waves and corrective waves. Now, within motive waves, we have impulse waves and ending diagonals. Within the corrective wave family, we have zigzags, flats, and triangles. Well, today, with your help, we're going to review the three primary corrective wave patterns, zigzags, flats, and triangles. Let's begin. The first price chart is of Intel, ticker symbol is INTC, and what I'd like for you to do is either pause the video for a moment or print this price chart off. And beginning here, just simply identify the price action according to, say, a Elliott wave labeling. What does it look like? What are the subdivisions? What Elliott wave pattern best fits this picture? Now, I'm going to pause for just a few moments, and then I'll show you my interpretation. Now, I think the pattern that we actually have in Intel is simply a straight zigzag. This is the most common corrective wave pattern you'll encounter, and it is a 5-3-5 pattern where wave A subdivides into 5 waves, wave B subdivides into 3 waves, and wave C subdivides into 5 waves. Now, the most common relationship we tend to find between wave C and wave A is equality. Sometimes variations of that occur, meaning that you'll see wave C equal only, say, a 618 multiple of wave A or a 786 multiple of wave A. Sometimes you'll see, for example, wave C equaling a 1.382 multiple of wave A. But typically are the most common relationship we tend to find between wave C and wave A is equality. So that's the ideal. That's what we tend to like to see. Now, this is a good example of this just a straight, simple zigzag in Intel. Now, let's look at another corrective wave pattern. Now, again, beginning here, I'd like you to actually apply the wave principle to this price action beginning at this point, moving to the far right. Now, whenever you begin looking at a price chart, a fresh price chart for the first time, what I recommend is look for shapes, not necessarily waves. What stands out? What movement stands out? And if we actually begin at this point here, the starting point, what I hope you see is, along with what I see, is an initial move to the downside. And let me utilize a different line here. There we go. We have an initial move to the downside. And then we see an advance that does not take us to a new extreme. And then that advance is then followed by another sizable move to the downside. Then moving upward, we see what I believe to be a clear three-wave move. And here's our initial advance. And then that's followed by a decline. And then we see another move to the upside. But again, no new high here. Notice how this extreme, this advance failed to take out any of the prior extremes in this market. And then that move was then followed by a very impulsive decline to the downside. Well, so far what I hope you see whenever you're looking at this price chart is a three-wave decline followed by a three-wave move up, which ends at or near the origin of the initial move, and then that's followed by an impulsive decline. Well, one Elliott wave pattern does indeed fit that type of a signature, and that is a flat correction. And this is actually how it's labeled the internals, where you have waves A, B, and C for A, B, C for B, and then 1, 2, 3, running triangle 4, followed by a fifth and final wave move down. But again, the key here, or I think the defining signature with a flat correction, is the B wave. The B wave is always going to be a three-wave move, and it's always going to end at or near the origin of wave A. Now, there is a variation to this pattern, and that's the expanded flat, and that occurs when wave B ends beyond the origin of wave A, but even then, wave B still subdivides into 3 waves. Okay, next, let's play the game again and look at another price chart, fresh. Now, some of you who are familiar with my work in futures junctures may already know this pattern because I've been talking about this pattern in wheat for quite a while. But I'll be silent for a moment and let you take a crack at labeling this price chart. Okay, now whenever you're beginning to label a price chart like this, A few things I would like to direct your attention to or your eyes to. First and foremost, this is a sideways price move. Okay, that's big clue number one. Big clue number two is if you look a bit more closely, you'll see that the price action is contained within parallel lines. Well, there's one wave pattern, one Elliott wave pattern, that does indeed fit this type of a signature in price. And as you can see, that's a contracting triangle. So in wheat, as many of my FJ subscribers already know, I'm looking for wheat to fall to $6 a bushel and have been for some time. But this is a contracting triangle. This is in the fourth wave position of a larger impulsive decline. And what's important about triangles is they always precede the final move within a sequence, which is why they may only form by themselves in the wave 4, wave B, and the wave X wave position. Now, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, in in Elliott wave junctures, sometimes you'll see corrective moves extend. And what I mean by that is they tend to repeat, or they last a bit longer. And one way they do that is by throwing us a kind of a curveball, or what we call an X wave. Now, beginning here, label the price chart to the right, and I've already given you a big clue on how to interpret this price move. Well, I guess I probably gave away the labeling on this price chart by mentioning the X wave. But if you look at this move going right, the first thing I'd like you to draw your attention to is within the move to the downside, you have, again, 7 primary moves. 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3. Very simple. This is a corrective combination. ABC for W, X, and then another ABC for wave Y. Again, this is a corrective combination, and just as you might see, say, wave 3 extend within an impulse wave, or wave 5 extend within an impulse wave, certainly if you're looking at commodities, well, many times what you'll see with corrective wave patterns is that they will also extend. And sometimes they'll do so by means of giving you an elongated C wave, or, and most commonly, is that they'll throw in that X wave, be a kind of a tricky pattern, and form what we would call, say, double or triple threes or double or triple zigzags. Well, that about does it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.